Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. How are you all today? Okay, so let me see. Who is new on my left? Are we new? Tell us, first time. Tell us your name and how you got to know about this group.
My name is Jennifer.
Jennifer. Okay. Welcome. Okay, let me see. Hello. Good to see you all here. Shy. Small kids are very cute. When they are shy, they stick out their tongue. Okay, on my right, let me see. Anyone who is new here today? Yes. Come, tell them your name and how you got to know this group.
Hi, my name is Johnson. I joined my wife and daughter.
Very good. Welcome. Okay. Anybody else that I miss out? Everybody's here. So welcome to SGC, where we have why? Where we have short puja, short meditation, and Dhamma talk. That is sometimes short, sometimes not so short. Okay, so what is today's topic? Titles and something. What is the topic for today? Do you all know the topic? Yes, very good. Today's topic is the Buddhist titles and their significance. And again, we are currently having a series where you all get to vote, get to choose the topic that you want. This from this morning. There's a story behind this cow. This is the analogy that the Buddha gave. Maybe I shouldn't draw it this way. Maybe I should draw the cow this way. You know? The cow with the leg. Look like a horse. So anyway, this one is an analogy about the horse, not horse, about the bull tied to the pole on the ground. Yeah, it's an analogy for meditation. Maybe if we have a chance, I will share the story with you. So today's topic, Buddhist titles and significance. What is today's date? 6th of October. So again, I will have to ask, who is the one who posted this? Okay. Finally, for the past few weeks, the person who posted the title never turned up. So today, the person actually turned up. Very good. Yeah. So there will be, I think, have we posted the link for the next month?
Yes.
Posted, Yeah, so you all can go onto the link, on Telegram. If you're not on Telegram, after class, look for the lady in white, the girl in white. Add you into Telegram. Then you can post the topic you are keen to learn about. And if you go in and you find other topics that you're interested, you can vote on it also. So those votes that is most popular will go up, and then we will use those topics. So today's topic, Buddhist titles and significance, posted by Marcel. Yeah. So I presume you're talking about titles in terms of like the honorifics we use for the let's say the Buddhist teachers, the monks and nuns. So what are the Buddhist titles used commonly? Maybe we start off with what you all commonly use. Yeah? Huh? Huh? Vulnerable? No, venerable. I'm not vulnerable. Yeah. I'm yeah. So So in the Buddhist tradition, in English, this is the most common term that is used. Yeah, but strictly speaking, in a way, when we use this term, for those outside of Buddhism, sometimes they find it a bit strange. You know, there was once at an interfaith dialogue, then someone from another religion. He appeared a bit perplexed. Yeah, he's not being disrespectful, but he was a bit curious. He said, "Why are you all called venerables? You're not very old, what?" Because the term venerable usually refers to someone who is venerable. That means quite elderly. Usually has that connotation. Yeah. So when he looked at me, he's like, "You are quite young, what? Why are you called a venerable?" Yeah. So in Buddhism, so usually this term has connotations regarding age. Okay? But in Buddhism, so this is the common usage. Yeah. So when you see a very elderly person, you can refer to him or her as a venerable old lady, a venerable young old man, something like that. Yeah. But in Buddhism, we usually use this to refer to monks and nuns. Yeah. Nothing to do with the age, not a physical age anyway. In Buddhism, physical age doesn't matter so much. So we consider a different kind of age, which is the number of years this person has been a disciple of the Buddha. We go by that number of years. In Chinese, we call it Seng La or Jie La. Basically, the number of years this person has been ordained, yeah, or the number of years this person has been a monk. Oh. Are you familiar with this? With some of these concepts? No? I see a lot of blank look, like, are we talking about Buddhism here? Yeah, in Singapore, oftentimes, unless you are in the Sangha, or unless you are serving in the temple as a kapiya, yeah, as a close attendant to the monk or nun, otherwise some of these concepts are usually, not that we hide it from you, but is for the most part irrelevant to you all. Yeah? For example, in the Chinese tradition in Singapore, when you all see monks and nuns, what do you all call us? You call us 师父, right? Yeah. So you call all of us 师父. How do you write 师父? "师父." Yeah, this is the correct way to write. There's another "fu." I don't know whether I can write it correctly. This is another 师父 的 "fu." Yeah, looks very similar to "chuan," but below is not closed. Yeah, So this is also 师父, this is also 师父. What is the difference? There's some significance here. So, huh?
The one I think is something like we learn the tricks of human and
Yeah. Yes.
Is it that one? The second one?
So, A and B, So, in Buddhism, when we refer to your teacher, your master, you use A. Okay? When do you use B? When you take a taxi in China. In China, also called 师父. But that 师父 is B, not A. Okay? The meaning of the second 师父, this B, is something like a specialist. A specialist, an expert, in a certain field. So sometimes you go to some restaurant, they will say, 指甲师傅, the chef. The chef is basically a 师傅 in terms of cooking. Understand? So sometimes some students will write 师傅 using the B. Usually we don't use B. We usually use A. What is the connotation? A is actually, the meaning is teacher, master. Here master, not master, slave master, but master, disciple, master. Okay? In the sutta, in the Buddha's time, the Buddha highlighted the roles of a master and the role of a disciple. And he said, monks, those who are preceptors, those who are the teacher, the acharya, they should look upon your disciple just as a father look upon the son. Disciples, you should look upon your teacher as a son look upon the father. So the relationship is very, very intimate, very close. So it is a mutual kind of relationship where the teacher must care for the disciple as though the disciple is your own son, In a way, this is true traditionally in other cultures also, including Chinese culture. Where in the past, you learn a skill, you learn a trade from a teacher, from a master, as an apprentice. In the past, when you learn something, you learn as an apprentice. And that teacher will take care of your lodging, your food, and if those movies and novels is anything to go by, they even help you get married. But of course, if you take me as teacher, I will not help you get married. I will help you get ordained. So, but having said that, this is just one way of referring to monks and nuns. Another way to refer to monks and nuns is 法师. 法师. So, so 法师 is different. So 法师, what does it mean? So when we say 法师, right, then this is, we can say, one meaning is, a common interpretation of this word today is, he's a Dharma teacher. But if we go by the sutra, the commentaries, 法师, 依法为师. So someone who abides by the Dharma, with the Dharma as the guide, as the refuge, as the teacher. 称为法师. In a way, these two meanings don't contradict each other. So in some other countries, in some other places, then the lay disciple, lay people, in general, when they see monks and nuns, they will refer to them as 法师, 某某法师, 某某法师, because that's the general term for monks and nuns in the Chinese Mahayana tradition. And then if, let's say, there's a particular monk or nun that you learn from, in particular, if you receive the 5 precepts, or if you are attending regular classes under this monk or nun, then you may address that venerable as 师父. Or you have directly taken up mentorship under this master. You 拜师的, that means you formally request to be the disciple, and then 斟茶 one, you know, the traditional Chinese 斟茶 type. Then we say, okay, this is your direct teacher, your direct disciple. You are the direct disciple. Then you can call the person 师父. But in Singapore, it's loosely used. In a way, it's also good. It reflects our attitude towards the Sangha, that we take refuge in the Sangha to encompass all Sangha and not differentiate. This one is my 师父 that one not my 师父. Also good. Yeah. But the other understanding is also not a bad thing. Yeah. In a way, it is recognizing your relationship with this particular teacher, but with it then comes certain duties and responsibility. Because if you say that you are someone's disciple, then you have to do something, ma. You cannot just sit around and then say that you are disciple, right? So if you are a disciple, then what must you do? You must attend to the teacher regularly. Yeah, you must make sure that you visit your teacher regularly, so that you can receive teachings. Not visit teacher regularly to yam cha. Not visit teacher regularly to go karaoke. Yeah, go and go. I don't know but to visit the teacher regularly, to ask for teachings, to clarify your doubts, to verify your understanding, to do that. Singaporeans are very good. We call all the venerables 师父. So it means you are the disciple of all the venerables. So you must visit all the venerables. Do you all visit all the venerable? Oh no. Wow, jialat. Next time everybody start calling me 法师 already. Don't call me 师父. No pressure, no pressure. But even if you don't call any monks or nuns 师父, but every time when you recite 南无本师释迦牟尼佛, then you are addressing Buddha as your teacher. What? There's a significance to that, you know. It's a reminder. You are Buddha's disciple. When we recite that, it's not for Buddha to hear, you know. Yeah. Sometimes among the lay community, we have a wrong idea. You know the saying, upai upopi, you know. Yeah. Then we may think, if I recite Namo Pen Shi释迦牟尼佛, then Buddha got a notification, ding ding. Doreen Go from Singapore. Okay, not bad. Okay, 37,456 times. 5,000 times a bit not paying attention. Okay, never mind. Okay, keep track. Then Su Zhuo Bing. Okay, like this, like that. We sometimes have this mindset. That's why then we have motivation to chant more. Wow. But when we recite all this, for the most part, it's really to serve a reminder to ourselves. Yeah. Number one, we are a disciple of the Buddha. When we say Namo, we want to turn ourselves towards the Buddha. in his direction. Not so much physically, yeah, not just in that sense, yeah, because at home when you pray, you turn towards the Buddha. Here, when you do chanting, do you face the wall? Yeah, do you go and look at the wall? No, you face towards the Buddha. But there's another kind of phasing, which is to turn our body, speech, and mind away from samsara, towards the Buddha, towards Nibbana. Then it's different. But how to do that? As a disciple of the Buddha, then we must learn the Dhamma. 哇，假了，转一圈还是一样哦。Yeah. So whether you call any venerable, any monk or nun as 师父 or not, actually still the same. Yeah. As long as you declare yourself as a Buddhist. If you call yourself a Buddhist, then what happened? This implies that you are a disciple of who? Of the Buddha. So that means Buddha is your teacher, and you as a Buddhist have that significance. So what other terms do we have? What other so-called titles do we have? I've been using the term monk and nun. Monk and nun is an English word, but we borrowed these terms, just as the Buddha used Indian terms in India. I ever encountered some individuals who refer to me as monk. Yeah. So instead of calling me venerable, the person called me monk. Then I encountered some students who call me bhikkhu. Yeah. Not so common lah. Usually we don't do that. So to be very honest, initially I was a bit taken aback. How come this person call me monk, Then I'm like, but after a while I'm like, not wrong, I'm a monk. I mean, if he called me nun, then a bit strange. But as I said, monk and nun, these are English words. The equivalent in Buddhism would be bhikkhu and bhikkhuni. Bhikkhu, bhikkhuni. So in Sanskrit, it is bhikshu and bhikshuni. So when we transliterate this, it becomes bhikkhu, then bhikshuni. In Taiwan, some of the communities, they use a different pronunciation, bhikkhu. So they are more more inclined towards the Pali tradition. Yeah, so they adopt a different phrase. Instead of bhikkhu, which is a transliteration from bhikshu, they transliterate as bhikkhu. But either way, this term itself has a few meanings. One of them is 除恶. 除恶. So there are a few sutras where the Buddha explained what is the meaning of bhikkhu. Yeah. So one of the meaning is 除恶. So then the Buddha in one of the sutta he said, he whosoever strive to remove evil, such a person is a bhikkhu. Is a bhikkhu. So in the Buddha's time, when individuals asked to go forth to become a monk, he may not explicitly say, oh, I want to remove but it is implicit in the act of going forth. That you want to remove evil. Evil in what sense? Evil in the sense of the defilements in our mind. Evil in the sense of greed, hatred, and delusion. To remove defilements for what purpose? To end suffering. To put an end to suffering. So, one day I was thinking, you know, we have all these titles. And because of the difference in title, it seems like we are different. I mean, in a way, we are different. I mean, you think about it, you are also different. You are not the same person, right? So how can this be the same? But I realized that although the title is different, yet there's something going on here. Because when you look at many suttas, it is addressing the monks. Yeah, the English translation, "Oh monks," yeah, and they say "bhikkhave," yeah, addressing the bhikkhu, yeah, addressing the monks. So then one day I thought, a lot of times when lay people read the suttas, you all may feel that it's irrelevant to you. Why? Because the expectation is very high. And anyway, the Buddha is referring to the monks. Oh monks, like this, like that. Oh monks, like this, like that. Huh? Do you all feel that way? You all don't feel this way, because you all don't even read the suttas. You all should go and read. Maybe you will feel this way. But since maybe you have read, maybe you have not read. But in case if you feel this way, let me tell you the good news and bad news. The bad news, the good news is, is it good or bad news? The good news, let me tell you the good news first. The good news is, because the Buddha referred to the bhikkhus, the monks, and meaning that whoever is striving to what? Remove evil. Who is striving towards end of suffering. So then, that being the case, by going by that definition, let me ask you all, answer as you deem fit. Do you, as a disciple of the Buddha, strive to eradicate evil? Say yes. Or you all say one, Some of you don't dare to say. And if you do, then those suttas are relevant to you. Yeah? It means that those suttas are directed to you as well. That's the good news. In a way, bad news. It means that you should expect yourself higher. And not keep on thinking, hey, but I'm a lay person. Yeah? The title for lay person is Upasaka, Upasika. Upasaka, Upasika. Men, Upasaka, women, Upasika. Yeah. But even that has some connotation. It means someone who has taken up the training also. Yeah. We cannot just use Upasaka, Upasika on ordinary people who never take up 3 refuge and 5 precepts, strictly speaking. So, titles, there are significance to it. But also don't be bounded by the title. Don't be bounded. We also have another title. You know what is the title? Putujana, worldling. Right, we are very attached to this title, unenlightened being. Are you all enlightened or unenlightened? How many of you are unenlightened? Raise your hand. Okay, put down. How many of you are enlightened? No. This is one title that we must be careful, Of all the different titles we have, I think this is a very important title to pay attention to. Because this is a title that we are very fond of, Whenever something goes wrong, then we bring up this title. But I'm unenlightened, what do you expect? we use this title in this way. Yeah? We sometimes don't realize that this is just a label. We don't have to be like that, you know. We are whirling insofar as long as we don't act like enlightened ones, as long as we don't see the truth like enlightened ones, to that extent, then we are whirling. But even though we are whirling, if we were to adopt the right view of the enlightened ones, we learn about the right view and we adopt it, try it out, then we can put aside that title. If you adopt it strong enough, you can be known by a different title. A Dharma farer or faith farer. Yeah, that means you have reached the point where your faith in the Buddha's teaching is strong enough that it results in the body, speech, and mind. Then you are known as a faith farer. 信行人. That is a very powerful stage, you know. Because if you can do up to that point, you know, you're considered, just now we recited, Yadidam Chattari Purisa Pugala, and so on and so on. Yeah, the 4 pairs and 8 individuals. If you can reach that stage where you take the Buddha's right view and adopt it and really learn it and have faith in it to the point where it changes your body, speech, and mind, then you are considered someone striving towards stream entry. 出果相. Wow. Part of the 8 pairs already. Yeah, you are moving away from the whirling already. Can. Or you learn enough to the point where you have understanding, such that because of the understanding, it transforms your body, speech, and mind. Not purify your view yet. You just borrow the view. You understand, you investigate the view, and through your understanding of the teachings, then it transforms your body, speech, and mind. Yeah, sufficiently such that while you are not enlightened yet, you are known as the Dharma farer, 法行人. So every day when we wake up, it's just like when you see Sifu, you say, afternoon Sifu. When you wake up in the morning, when you look in the mirror, do you greet, good morning Sifu? Yeah? Do you greet, good morning Bodhisattva? Yeah? What title do we give ourselves? Yeah. We look in the mirror. Hello, Wilson. We look in the mirror. Hello, beautiful. Hello, handsome. Yeah. We call ourselves handsome, beautiful. Yeah. Those are physical description, physical title. Physical title can change. You grow old, change already. You shave your hair, not beautiful, not handsome anymore. Of course, some still quite handsome, like Wilson. You eat a bit more, boom, not handsome anymore. These are physical titles. What are the titles we give ourselves? Do we give titles to ourselves to boost our ego, to boost our attachment, or to justify our defilements? Yeah. Huh? Yes. Very good. Yeah, in a way it is. In Buddhism we say it's actually just a title. But we think of this title as though it's real, you know. Once you can see I is a title as well, it frees you, you know. Yeah, then you look in the mirror tomorrow or tonight, or later you go toilet, then you see, not Melinda. You look at the mirror, who are you? In Sanzong, one of the 话头, 我是谁? Yeah. I don't know how many of you who attended the Heart Sutra realize this. You know the Who Am I chart, the exercise? Yeah. If you learn in the Chinese Zen tradition, Hua Tou, yeah, where they go and have a question for you to go and think about. One of them is 我是谁? Can you go and reflect? What are the titles we give ourselves? Yeah? Very something that's so intuitive and so habituated. I, mine, including the titles we get from others. Yeah, our children call us Papa, then we really think we are Papa, you know. And of course, everybody's idea of Papa is different. Our kids call us Mama, Mommy. Yeah, then we really think we are Mommy. And later on, when our child relate to us, treat us in a slightly different way that conflicts with our idea of what Papa and Mama is, wow, we want to fight with the person, you know. So even these titles, we should question that. We should think about it. It doesn't mean we throw all of them away, because when there are conditions, those titles play a function. It helps us to know what role we play. And that's why when you all see Shifu, even if you know my lay name, you would refer to me as Shifu. As a reminder to me, what is my role, and as a reminder to you, what is your role. So we refer to one another using titles to serve some function also. Then what about the title we give to our children? We call them by certain names, yeah? So when we hear that sound, what title, what label do we give it? Do we label it as happy baby? Or do you, in your mind, label it, call it a disturbing baby? So at the same time, some of you have, what? No, nothing? Creepy baby. The baby behind, and then run around with a knife. Now that I've planted the idea, now in your mind you have a running baby with a knife. It's getting stressed. Don't worry. You know, when you take a plane and then they will announce this is a non-smoking flight. Yeah. In my class, I always highlight my class is a baby-friendly class. Yeah, we welcome babies who come here and laugh creepily and laugh happily also. Yeah, don't worry. Including the titles we get from work. When we first work in the company, they give us a title. Yeah, your position, your portfolio. For the same thing, there's so many terms, you know. It's called job, it's called work, it's called career. Yeah, all kinds of terms. Usually, the bigger the term, the lesser they try to pay you. Yeah. They have to make you feel good, ma. If they make you feel good enough, they don't have to pay you so much, ma. The trouble sometimes is when they give you a title, then we buy into it, you know. We really buy into it. All the titles that we give ourselves, so titles coming from ourselves, our family, our friends, work. When our company give us a title, yeah, let's say your company give you a title, you are, let's say, I don't know, what title are there? Procurement officer, let's say, yeah. Then you feel, oh, this is who I am. Then after that, you hear that there is an opening. Yeah, your boss is going to leave the company, go to, go and do something else. Wow, then you try to apply to be the team leader. Wow. Then in your mind, before you even get the job, you have in your mind an idea of what a team leader is. Yeah, and then you must be imagining how good it will be to be a team leader, whether in terms of the compensation or the ability to decide on this, decide on that, then do this, do that. Yeah, so before you even get the role, you already psycho yourself, that you are like that already. And that's where, if you don't get it, you get disappointed. But all the while you are not, even if you get it, you are still not that, It's just still a title. And that's why sometimes you get a title that you don't want. And then you get disappointed or you get upset. Yeah. Some are official titles, some are unofficial titles. And we get affected, although they are just titles, labels. Yeah. And then sometimes the titles are taken away from us. Yeah, there's a reorg. Your VP come around and during the company meeting, monthly meeting, then make an announcement. These times are hard. Due to the trade war and so forth. Now we are going to have a reorg across APAC. Yeah, there will be groups that are merged. There will be groups that are split. And then some of you may be reshuffled. Yeah. So I will not be going through the details. Yeah, HR is here. You'll be arranging meetings with your various departments. So keep a lookout for the next few days. And before the title has changed, just because of that announcement, in your mind you start to feel anxious. Like now, Sifu is just acting this out. Maybe some of you start to feel anxious. Of course, Ami Tofu. Maybe some of you really went through that. Yeah. But you think about it, before you get that job, you're also not there, what? Then now you're just going back to square one, what? What's the big deal? Were you born as a manager? When you are a small kid, you are not manager, you are quite happy also, what? Now someone take away that to let you be a small kid again. Why are you not happy? So small kid don't have a high pay salary, Yeah, so with the title, then we assume a lot of other things. And we take that as real. Then we get affected. So when someone says something about us, that's the unofficial title. Then we get affected also. So titles, we can use titles nonetheless. Because they can serve certain function to remind us of our roles. But even as we are reminded of the roles, even as we play those roles, we must remember those roles are condition arising. They are not inherent in us. Meaning that regardless of the economy, whatever title you have is impermanent. And even as it has not changed, doesn't mean that tomorrow I'm cursing you that you will be fired or reorg. But even if that doesn't happen, you are still not that role, not that title. You can be so many things though. Don't limit yourself to that one title. And even within that title, there are many ways to play that title. Who can decide how to play it? We decide. Don't let people decide how you play that role. Yeah? Imagine it's a movie, and then now you're playing this character. You're the actor, ma. Yes, the director can say whatever they want to say, but you are the one who is acting it out. You have to decide how you want to play this character. Don't let people decide for you. And in a way, our life, if you consider our life to be like a movie, then you are the script director also, you know. So you have to ask yourself, what kind of role you want to play? What kind of storyline? Okay? Turn by turn. You have a question. Oh, 大师啊. Okay, okay. I didn't know that you are so interested in those kind of title. I thought. Okay, 来，有大师，还有小师。Yeah, yeah, yeah, I have. 有大师，然后就有小师啊。Strictly speaking, in the earlier times, 大师 in some texts refer to the Buddha. 小师 refer to all other of the Sangha who is teaching, yeah, your immediate teacher. But these days, over time, we refer to some 某某大师, yeah, as a term of like honorific title, yeah, to say that he has either he has been a monk for many years, yeah. Usually, let's say, strictly speaking, there's a term called Thera or Thero. This is 10 years, 10 years, 15 years thereabout, considered Thero. Then Maha Thera, usually then maybe 20 years and above. Yeah. So Thera is 长老. And here it's not about the physical age, it's the number of years the person have been a monk. So 大师 oftentimes there may be a certain protocol, but as far as I know, we often use it to refer to a venerable that is very well respected, held in high esteem. Yeah, so it's a 尊称, you know 尊称? Can? 简单的解释这样子. Yeah, hang on, his turn. Right? If the parents want to what? Rule you. Huh? Rule the character? No, I'm trying to clarify. Huh? You forgot? You just asked a few seconds ago. No, don't feel, I hope you don't feel like I'm laughing at you. I'm trying to understand what you were trying to say. Huh? Okay, take a few deep breaths, then we come back to you, okay? When you remember the detail of your question, Zhang Lao, strictly speaking, is mainly about the number of years this person has been ordained. Who? Which? Huh? Wu Feng Zhang Lao. Of course, he's definitely Zhang Lao. Late Wu Feng Zhang Lao. Yes. So when we say Zhang Lao, Maha Thera or Thera is literally the person must have been ordained for that number of years. Yeah, so sometimes in some Theravadan center, especially like Katina or something, sometimes you hear them refer to me as Venerable Chun Guan Thero, because 10 and above. Then you see some of the very senior ones, then they say, we are very honored to have the most venerable the most venerable Bhante Dhammaratana Maha Thero Nayaka. A lot of terms. So it's actually some of the other roles they are conferred of that they are playing. Yes.
Is Taizang a real Buddhist title, or is that something that Taizang came up with himself?
Sorry?
Is Taizang a real Buddhist
Taizang?
title? Yeah.
No, Taizang is not. It's not a Buddhist term. Taizang actually refers to him being a radio host. Yeah. 广播台长. That one is actually not the Buddhist term. And he's not a Buddhist also. He's a Buddhist, he's a pseudo-Buddhist, fake Buddhist. Yeah. Interestingly, these few days, this topic keep coming up about the fake one. Yeah, Lu Tai Zhang is definitely not a Buddhist. Yeah. He positioned himself as a Buddhist teacher, have made claims of psychic powers and so on. But if you look at his videos, it's all co-reading, yeah, and a lot of coercion, yeah, pressure, putting people under pressure to, you know, to just go along with whatever he's saying. I remember recently there was a video. There's this elderly man wearing spectacles. Then you ask him, 感觉有没有信心？没有啊。Can you feel the faith? No, I don't feel. 还是没有。Then after that, 台长头上有没有光？没有啊。Yeah, it's so. Yeah, you have to go and look for that. It's quite. He's quite entertaining, I must say. Yeah, quite entertaining. Yeah, but in a way, I must say, in a way, I don't blame him. You know, why do I not blame him? It's right for picking one. I blame ourselves. If all Buddhists know what is Dharma, who is going to attend his talk? It's because we don't set a minimum standard that if you are a disciple of the Buddha, you must know Four Noble Truths, Eightfold Path. You must know the right teaching from wrong teaching. It is because we never enforce that. We never have that kind of expectation that, hey, don't think you want to call yourself Buddhist, you can say you're Buddhist. No, you cannot just, you know, register NRIC, then you put Buddhist, then just like that, then you're Buddhist. No. Yeah, it's that we never have that kind of expectation. So anyone they can say they are Buddhist. And then you just go inside Changhyo, then you're also Buddhist. Yeah. And further, in the Chinese community, oftentimes I remember, I don't know about your family, but my family, oftentimes, when there's some 大日子, big festive, and then whole family come, and then there must be prayers, right? Because I'm one of the grandson, but the ranking not very high one. So all the senior one go in front, pray, then bopian have to include those behind one, all have to go and pray. Then oftentimes the attitude is, the young kids come, okay, pray, Changhyo, then go away, right? Don't dare to let the kids be too involved, you know, in the ceremonies or to ask questions. Because why? Afraid that small kids anyhow ask questions, then offend Buddha. Chinese mindset, 怕会触犯神明，有没有？Chinese we have this mindset. 与鬼神敬而远之。And then translate to Buddhism, 与佛菩萨敬而远之。So in the end, one generation after the next, all we retain at home are the rituals, are the kind of questions that about how many oranges 5 or 4 Some people say 4, some people say 5 Can we use pineapple Then how about durian that spike, then point Buddha can or not? You think Buddha bother with this? No, I'm serious. A lot of traditional Buddhists, on that basis, then 才有平台then there's a platform for individuals like him to have an audience It is like now if you go to NTU, NUS, and you go there and make a claim, I have come out with what called a perpetual machine. You know what is a perpetual machine? It means that this machine, once I set it into motion, will move perpetually without additional energy input. And I can extract perpetually an unlimited amount of energy from it. That means it has crossed unity. Yeah, and unity in energy. If you go to NTU, okay, I know I lost half of your. Basically, like, you know, power bank. Where's my power bank? Power bank. How do you use power bank? You plug in, charge, then what happens? The lights become flat. Once it's flat, can you still use it? Cannot, until you charge. So you need to put energy back in. Then after that, when you charge your phone, you are discharging from the lithium cell or whatever technology is inside. So this is not a perpetual machine because you need to input something and take out. And in the process, there's energy loss through heat. Yeah, mostly through heat. Now, what perpetual machine is I just give a finite input and it can generate perpetually. Generate energy beyond what is being put in. Can you understand this concept? Yes. Now, this violates the second law of thermodynamics. And now I must conduct a 3-hour course to explain to you. The point is this. If you go to NTU, NUS, or any university where there are physics students, and you go and make a claim, I have perpetual motion machine. They may not reject you immediately, but they'll say, okay, show me your equation. Show me your schematics. They will not, can I have your autograph? Yeah, they will not just say, take my money, you know. They will not. Why? Because you are going to a university where they have a strong foundation in physics. If you go to, let's say, primary school, and you tell them, I have a perpetual machine, also useless, because they also don't know what you're talking about. So you notice, those who go are the nominal Buddhists. Non-Buddhists will not go. You claim you're Guan Yin Pusa, so I don't even believe, I don't know who is Guan Yin Pusa. So it doesn't work on non-Buddhists. It also don't work on Buddhists who are learned, who know the teachings, who are practicing. It works on nominal Buddhists, those who know enough to buy, but don't know enough to practice, to differentiate. So in a way, I don't blame people like him, you know. There's a dime a dozen. You put him down, not put him down. Like you clarify, we should clarify and so on. But he will still exist for a while, and after he's gone, sometime later, there'll be someone else. Because as long as there are nominal Buddhists who only buy, who don't know the Dharma, then there's a market. There's a market. There's a captive audience who are willing victims. Yeah. So, Taizang is not a Buddhist term. Yeah. Yeah.
By taking refuge, do we need to observe any precepts?
When we say we take refuge, voluntary. So in a sense, there's no such a thing as you must observe precepts. But if we say we take refuge in the Buddha, what does it mean? The simplest sense of the practice is, that means you take Buddha as your teacher. Then nominally, we should know what the Buddha is teaching. Yeah, what he stands for. He stands for love, compassion, and wisdom. He stands for that our suffering has a cause. He stands for that what we think as not suffering, actually we have to take a closer look and you will realize that it's a different form of suffering. He stands for that our suffering is due to our defilements, not something outside. He stands for observing that all conditioned phenomena is subject to change, subject to conditions, and is not inherent, not substantial. And he observed that there's a certain pattern in our life, in all humanity, all sentient beings, that as long as you act in a certain way, there are certain results. And he saw this pattern and established what we call the 5 precepts. The first 4, which are actions acted out that is harmful. And the pattern is that as long as someone acts in this way, he observed that eventually, when conditions are right, painful results arises. But still, he don't force people to say, so I command you, you cannot kill. No, he don't say that. But he merely teaches people, well, insofar as anyone who do this, painful results arise. Now you have to ask yourself, you have to think for yourself, do you want suffering? If you don't want suffering, how can you be perpetuating suffering and expecting no suffering to arise? And so those who find this reasonable enough, yeah, and make sense, then may decide, hey, this guy's explanation, hey, makes sense, you know. Yeah, I like to learn more from him. I like to become his disciple and go in the same direction. Go in the same direction meaning what? Not there yet, but in that direction. The Buddha is at a state where he's free from greed, hatred, and delusion, free from suffering. We have to go towards that direction, to be free of suffering like him. But we're not there yet, but in order to be there, then we say, what are the practices required? So not so much that we must observe the 5 precepts. But if you agree to this extent, to become a disciple, then quite naturally, you will strive to observe the precepts. We may not be able to 100% fulfill it all the time. But we would still in our mind say, this is the right direction. It is just like, we don't expect our kids to get 100 points. But we expect our kids to strive to understand 100% of what is being taught. Isn't it? Correct or not? Ash, yeah? When you go to school, he said the same thing. Good disciple. Yeah, it makes sense, right? You go to school doesn't mean that you will manage to know 100%. But you should be striving in which direction? To learn 100% or 100%? To aim to learn 100%. But due to our own personal inclination, our own personal strength and weaknesses, then we may only capture maybe less than 100%. For those who are really brilliant and really attentive and so on, they may capture 100% and be able to infer the next 20%. Then we say, oh, this kid is really good. Without being taught the next part, he already know what is the next part. But we don't expect he has to be like that. So 5 precepts, not so much that you must or not, but once we learn enough of the teaching as a disciple, then quite naturally, it's a natural choice of conduct. Yes, your long jump pass. Who? You first.
How about the title? Sometimes they give as 大和尚 or 和尚.
大和尚, yes. Actually, I should have just started off letting you all ask all this title. Yeah, because in my mind I was like, wow, there are a lot of titles. What titles do you all want to ask? The 上 and 下. Okay, 什么某某大和尚. And then there's a 上下, yeah. So like, for example, 上妙下静老和尚 So 和尚, strictly speaking, just recently someone asked me about this, and initially one of them thought that it's a rude term. Canto movie or something, series, then they will sometimes use it in a very derogative manner. 和尚, whatever. But actually this term is a respectful term. Respectful term. Yeah. And usually you only use this term with respect to who? To your immediate teacher. Because 和尚 actually means only mainly your those who confer your precepts to you. So when you receive your precept, then we say 得戒和尚. Yeah, so it's like 师父的意思，有一点这个意思。But nowadays, we either hear people use it in a derogative manner, like 和尚, or we term everybody who is like very senior as 大和尚. Yeah. It has some connotation also, which is that, from what I know, in a Chinese monastery, usually in one Chinese monastery, there's only one 和尚. Yeah. Why? Because in the Chinese tradition, within a monastery, the abbot is usually the one who is transmitting all the precepts. Yeah, so as a result, within that boundary, there's only one 和尚. Everybody take mentorship under him, because go there to learn under him, something like that. But today, oftentimes, as long as this person is like some 住持of some temple, then we call the person 大和尚, yeah, or as a term of, respectful term, something like that. Then the 上下 is actually originally from Chinese. Yeah, from Chinese. So it has to do with, from what I ever go and search on this. Yeah, it's actually the Chinese culture of reference, where they refer to one's parents as 上下. It originally comes from there. And so one's teacher, yeah, or a teacher who is very respected, then is given this 上下 term of honorific title. This 上下 doesn't come from Buddhism, actually from Chinese culture. Yeah. So, but then once Buddhism take root, then we infuse some Buddhist element to it. Then we have the 上求佛道下度众生, that kind of concept. Yeah, but originally the 上下 actually, in the other lineages you don't see this. You have a, yours is a 上下, okay. Yeah, so no 左右啊，左传右关。这样来，来。Not correct. Not appropriate. Like you refer to 师父, oi. Da Shi, then you refer to as 师父. Will it be any what? Bad karma? So yes, there is some impact. Depending on how people look at it, the impact is on them. Because 他们会起烦恼. But whether there's impact on you, then depends on whether you use that term with respect or with disrespect. Because even when you call someone 大师, you can use it as a insult, you know. Yeah. 哇，某某大师来了啊 You know, then it's actually a bit of 酸酸的感觉 So you can use the most honorific term, but actually in a derogative manner. But you can also refer to, like just now I mentioned, some lay people refer to me as monk, as bhikkhu. Then later I thought, hey, actually, I'm actually quite thankful, you know. Yeah, because in some there's one center, then the senior monk actually, when I arrive, then make announcement, 我们欢迎传观比丘. Yeah, usually it's 传观法师 then 传观比丘. I was like, Of course, there are some reasons for that. One is there's another nun called 传观 also, you know. So the distinguished one is a monk. But another layer is later from my own reflection. Wow, for someone to call me a bichu, one angle is I must make myself worthy to be called that, you know. I must check myself. Am I diligent in my striving to remove evil, unwholesome thoughts? Another angle is, this person have faith in me, that I am working on that, you know. So again, I must not let this person down. This person call me a bhikkhu, you know. I must strive. Of course, maybe some people, when they call me that, they don't want to call me venerable because don't. But that's their problem, not my problem. That's their thinking. We don't say problem. That's their thinking. It's okay, ma. People can think whatever they want. In a way, not in a way. Of course, we must learn from Buddha. But when we look through the suttas, I learned something else, you know. The Buddha is Buddha. But that's because we are Buddhists. So we look at Buddha as, wow, Buddha. But in the Buddha's time, some of them call him ascetic Gotama. Right? Don't call him, most venerable, His Holiness, the Sakyamuni Buddha. No. Just ascetic Gotama. Today, any of you, when you pray to Buddha, ascetic Gotama. And then there's even a sutta where one monk called him friend. Yeah, the one that happened in the potter's shed. Yeah. Yeah, but yet, I reflected, you know, hey, Buddha never get upset also, no. So why should I get, who am I to get upset if people call me bhikkhu or call me this or that? Yeah. And then sometimes in interfaith circle, then they call me 传观. Occasionally, 點叫我傳觀? Yeah. Because in the Sangha, usually seniors, sometimes they will call you directly by your name. And it's actually, in a way, like a bit of endearment, you know, that you're quite close, then I call you by your name. The senior then call you by your name. 傳觀啊,怎麼樣子? Even though I'm more junior, if let's say there's a senior who is not so close, they'll call 傳觀師. So 還是有距離. So sometimes the culture is very interesting. When you're close enough, then the senior will call you by your name. But then yet, we have this discrimination. Senior calling me 傳觀, I feel, this senior 把我放在眼裡了, 很照顧晚輩, 稱我傳觀 yeah. But then if let's say it's an interfaith dialogue or what, then suddenly one random stranger, hey, 傳觀, how are you? This is Tiang, 叫我傳觀. Yeah. So actually this is an opportunity also, you know. I don't say I'm a good cultivator, but sometimes I get reminded, I must not be attached to the title. Then after this all, hey, 傳觀, hello. Yeah. When that happens, there are two things. One is my cultivation. Two is your problem. Whether you say it out of disrespect or not, that's your problem, not my problem. Must be careful 啊！我先把话讲出来，不要到时你有问题，然后说问到师父没有讲。I thought okay, I can help 师父 to cultivate 吗 ？Every day call him 川观，川观，来川观。But you all should know 啊，师父很厚脸皮的。Yeah, I will tell people off. Sometimes in the car, then there are some students driving me or what, and talk, then suddenly refer to one senior monk. The senior monk is not with us, just me and the few disciples. Then the lay devotee suddenly come out with Momo whoever without, adding the 法师 or 师父, right? Then I will pause for a while and wait for him to complete, because you cannot assume that, some people 讲一半还没讲完嘛. Then immediately, then you realize, 没有放法师，我就你跟某某法师很熟啊？说还好吧。喂，你跟他称兄道弟哦？啊？You abang agak jiwan ha? Can just call the venerable by the name one? Cannot. Yeah, 我这方面会比较厚脸皮，我会要求。Yeah, especially when it's other venerables. Yeah, for myself, okay 咯，那个是你的问题嘛。Yeah. So a lot of things about title. I want to just very quickly touch on 3 more. Actually, there's a lot of titles. So Lama, Rinpoche, Geshe. Yeah, in the Tibetan tradition, Lama means monk, just like in a way like bhikkhu. So Rinpoche actually means a precious teacher. Precious teacher. So may not be monk. Rinpoche may not be monk. Geshe is a title indicating that this person has learned and has gone through rigorous the examination to become like a professor, equivalent of a professor. Yeah, very qualified to teach. Yeah, because to have a Geshe title must have gone through the, very rigorous, and the seniors will question him. Yeah, so it's like the PhD, you must defend your thesis, So go through a lot of rigor, and so Geshe is very knowledgeable. You ask him about any of the teachings, but usually it's Geshe la. Yeah. Huh? Not 师父啊。Geshe can be. So far, most of the Geshe I know are all ordained. Suan? He's a teacher. He's not the. Yeah. He's in the Pali, in the Theravada tradition, they have a term Dhammachari. Dhammachari. Yeah. Then you call him teacher lah, since he say he's a teacher. Oh no. Geshe is a specific title in the Tibetan tradition. You must go through. It's not that you can teach, then you can go Geshe. You must have gone through the learning process plus the examination, and then you're conferred Geshe. So this is the Tibetan tradition. Then the Theravadan tradition, just now mentioned, Thera, Mahathera. Naka is like you are the chief of a certain region or something. Then, hang on. Then there's Bante, means like teacher. Bante means teacher. There's Bante. Ajahn is for the Thai tradition. Yeah, actually has a similar meaning, like teacher. Then in the Myanmar tradition, they use the term Sayadaw, Sayalay. Yeah, so like also like teacher like that. Sayadaw, Sayalay. But for them, the monks, all the names in front will have a U, have a U. Yeah, in the Myanmar tradition, they have a U something. So that mine is U Panyavaro. Yeah, U Panyavaro. So Then you can say Sayadaw U Panewaru. Wow, then sound like wow, Sayadaw leh. Thai tradition, they also have other terms like te or I think te or tan. Yeah, not our tana atana, but they have some terms there also. Yeah, and then they have pra. Yeah, pra is also like venerable kind of meaning. Oh, do you ask your?
Just try to
Oh, the Bante, huh? Oh. Any other titles you want to know? Yes.
Dalai Lama is under education.
No, Dalai Lama. Dalai, this is actually a title that started, is it the 13th or 14th century? Some time back. Yeah. It didn't start right at the start. If I don't recall wrongly, like now we have the 14th Dalai Lama, right? The first or second, or even the third, was not recognized as Dalai Lama until later, as a reincarnation. Because the title was a result of a few of the kingdoms, and one of the kingdom gave that title. The specific, I don't feel I'm qualified to go into, but it has to do with a few kingdoms in ancient China. Between a few different states, because in ancient China, for a while there's no uniform state. And even after the unification, there's a lot of war between the different regions. So from what I know, the term Dalai Lama was conferred by one of the emperor, one of the king. Today, I think in the Western world, they look at this title as like the president. But from what I know, you all can counter, verify with all the Rinpoches, the lamas from the Tibetan tradition to make sure. But from what I know, it is more that the role as a spiritual leader came first. This title came later. And the role of a spiritual leader, like for example, during SGC itself, the activities is sort of guided by me, right? So you all would defer to me on how certain practices are done. Yeah, but it's voluntary. It's not I rule you all. You know what I mean? When you attend a retreat conducted by Shifu or by any other venerables, then within the confines of the retreat, during that duration, while you are within the retreat as a participant, then you will also follow the practices, the guidelines, as stipulated and guided by the presiding teacher, isn't it? Now imagine this retreat, not of a size of 100, not even 1,000, but 50,000 people attending a retreat together, 100,000 people attending a retreat together. Then it's no longer just ordering some food from Grab and then, then you have to have delegation of work to make sure that everybody is fed, that everybody is taken care of. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to have a few 100,000. You just have 1,000 person is a massive logistic work. Yeah, and who is going to decide? Then, in most cases, they may have a working committee, right? And then, but on certain matters, they will defer to the presiding venerable or team of Sangha who is in charge. Yeah, the way I see it, that's how that structure came about. Yeah, but seen from the Western world, he is equivalent to the head of state. Yeah, but the details over the centuries is not something that we can easily just simplify with a few words. But this is what I understand. In particular, from the Western world, they often see the Dalai Lama as the leader of the whole Buddhist community. Yeah, so many Westerners, they'll ask me, so you also take Dalai Lama as your leader? Not exactly. We respect him because he's very senior and his teaching is very meaningful, you know. But Buddhist communities have a very different structure. Yeah. Right from the Buddha's time, he never instilled a monolithic structure where there's a head in charge of the whole world. No such thing. Yeah, each community is self-sufficient, independent, with what as the governing structure? The Dhamma Vinaya. So as a result, for non-Buddhist communities or societies, it may be a bit difficult to understand how this can exist. Yeah, without calling this head of state. Okay? Sorry, we totally exceeded time. Yeah, I finished at 3 o'clock now. Then I was quite happy. Then more questions. 愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿消三障诸烦恼，
愿得智慧真明了，
愿得智慧真明了，
普愿罪障悉消除，
普愿罪障悉消除，
世世常行菩萨道。
世世常行菩萨道。
阿弥陀佛，起立。